as a child, when I was a kid, maybe 10 or 11 years old, we had a talent assembly at school where whatever talent you had, you could perform it in the assembly. One little girl played the piano because she'd had piano lessons. I don't know if I can hide my hatred of her very well. Another little girl did ballet because she'd had ballet lessons. I hadn't had any of that kind of lesson. I was determined, though, to be involved in the talent assembly. I told the teacher that my talent was looking after animals, which is A, not a talent, and B, even if it is, I'm not sure I had it because they all died. I don't know how much of that is my fault, though, because when you're little, you have little animals, don't you? You have hamsters, you have budgies, you have rabbits, you have things that don't live sounds better, things that don't live very long. Also, you shouldn't keep a hamster longer than it wants to stay. It's like the old saying, if you love someone, bury them in the garden, that's right. Side note, hamsters should also not be kept in direct sunlight. But I think I'd quite like an animal at home. I think that would make the place feel a little bit more sort of cosy. Give us a cheer if you've got a pet at home. There's loads of you. See, I'd quite like a cat. If I could have any animal, I'd probably have a cat. But I can't have a cat because my boyfriend's allergic to cats, so I can't have one. Well, precisely, Flower. We'll split up and that'll sort it out. Most people don't have something to look forward to at the end of a relationship, do they? I can't wait till he starts fucking other women. I'm off to the pet shop, won't you? But if I did get an animal, I'd have to be careful, because whenever I had animals as a child, I always loved them a little bit too much. There's a name for people like me, it's a hamster squeezer. Look at his little face. When I was about 7, I had a little dog and I loved it so much. Have you ever stroked a dog so hard you could see the whites of its eyes? Did you have any stroke along its back? Its little back legs buckle because of the pressure. I do worry about my boyfriend. Because I love him so much. Love him so much. No. Look at his little face. Is Spunk supposed to be red? No. That's a great reaction. The women are laughing and the blokes are going, don't do that, that's not fucking funny. But we had a very good upbringing. We always had loads of pets. We had loads of pets. Give us a cheer if you've got a pet. I'm very jealous. I'd love to have a pet. I don't have that kind of lifestyle. I'm away from home too much and it would be cruel. So me and my fella, when we've got a bit of time off, like an afternoon off, we like to go to zoos and aquariums. But you can't always do that because those places are expensive and they take up a lot of time. So we have perfected the art of wandering round pets at home. You got to go in with a lot of confidence, you know. Like you could totally own a fish, you know. To be fair, I sometimes wander around baby clothes shops and I haven't got a baby. That's a lot weirder. I always think I can pass as a new mum because I've got a bit of a belly and I always look knackered. And if I think anybody's suspicious, I just lob a boob out. That doesn't work in Pets at Home. The last time we were in Pets at Home, they had a special section to one side of animals that had been reduced. Just let that sink in for a second. Reduced. It was one of the saddest things I think I've ever seen. They had a big rabbit in a hutch, much bigger than the other sort of sexy rabbits. Sexy is not the right word, is it? Depends on the rabbit. Thank you. And the big rabbit, to make it that little bit more heartbreaking, they'd written a sign for it in the first person. And the sign said, "Hi, I'm Honey. I'm a little bit bigger than the other rabbits. I'm a little bit older than the other rabbits. Please take me home." I thought you never expect to come face to face with a rabbit equivalent of your teenage self. I didn't buy it. It's got to learn. Well, we had loads of pets when we were kids. We had rabbits and budgies and hamsters and fish and dogs. We had loads of things. But whenever they died, we were never told that. We were just told some story instead, some lie. Anybody else have this? Yeah. What lies were you told? Shout out. Gone to a farm. What animal was it, love? A dog. Oh, it's still in your voice, isn't it, Flower? Dog. Farm, dog. Can't talk anymore. There was a lady the other day, she said, my rabbit never died. said, what? My rabbit never died. It's just sometimes a different colour. And occasionally it was a guinea pig. Any others apart from the dog on the farm? What was that, love? Your snail ran away. Snail's not a pet, love. But did it have a name? No. That's why it ran away, Flower. You didn't give a shit. Any others? Swam down the toilet. I take it was a fish, was it, love? Yes? Yeah, was it? Oh, bless you. Yes. Ooh. Went for a holiday in the Lavie. There was a lady the other day, she said that she'd had a goldfish, and when it had died, she'd been told that it swam away out of the bowl. While I was talking to her, but a chat broke out at the other side of the audience, and I thought I'd better see what's going on over here. So I finished with a lady whose fish had swam away out of the bowl, and I looked across here and I said, what's going on? And over here was a lady in her 50s, another lady in her 70s, potentially mother and daughter. And I said, what's happening? What had happened? The lady in her 50s had gone, hey, that's a shame, isn't it? That lady was lied to about her fish swimming away. Because my fish actually swam away, didn't it, ma'am? And the old lady was pissing herself laughing. But we had the farm one. We were told gone to live on a farm to keep an old man company. When it happened to our dog, we were gutted. When it happened to me nana, we were thrilled. But my favourite one was a young Geordie lad when I did the Edinburgh Festival last year. He said he'd had terrapins and he'd been told they'd left to join the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In my limited experience, straight men just wash their cocks, that's it. It's just, not even always all of it, sometimes just the end part. Of course, some of them have to wash all the chalk off. But I said to my husband, I said, horses do more than you. He said, what? I said, horses do more than you. It's true, I've got a friend, she's got a horse. Her horse has a special lady who comes out just to wash his knob. I mean, how do you get into that? And by that, I don't mean, how do you get into that? Also, how at the end of your tether as a careers advisor are you before you slam shut your folder and go, how are you a horse's cocks? It's done for medical reasons, it's done for health reasons. They do it because they have to clear out what are called smeg beans, which are exactly what you think they are. But don't they also sound a little bit like something you could get from IKEA? I only went in for a nest of tables, came out with a massive bag of smeg beans. I was trying to explain to my husband what they were, and I sort of nervously Googled, and Google has a habit of finishing the rest of the search for you. And I typed in smeg beans, and Google went, smeg beans grinder. And I was like, how bad are they? Like, you have to grind them off. And then I realised it's a posh coffee machine, isn't it? Smeg beans grinder. Oh. Also explains why John Lewis had it in 4 different colours. Second thing I decided to do, I decided to get a pet. I've always grown up with pets, and in my teens and in my 20s. And then there's something about the lifestyle of being a comedian that means you're on the road a lot. It's not really conducive to having animals at home. And then I thought, I've done this 8 years. Maybe it's time the lifestyle worked around me for a change. So I really wanted a cat. I got a cat 2 years ago. I got another cat last year. My fella seems to think I just wanted 2 cats. He doesn't realise it's now an annual event. The second cat we got is a rescue cat. She was just left outside of the vet in a box overnight, just left. And she's lovely, she's very affectionate. Whenever my fella picks her up, she starts purring straight away, and he looks her right in the face and he goes, who would abandon you? Who would abandon you? I said, stop saying that to her. It's like somebody saying to me, who would divorce you? Someone fucking did. But I do worry that I tell people a bit too soon in any conversation that I've got cats. I've got cats, it's too soon, it's too soon. I've got cats, that's lovely, and your account number is... And And that's because they're not too bad at the minute, but I've often got big scratches on my arms, and I don't want anybody to ever misconstrue what those scratches are. I don't want anybody to ever leave my company going, she seemed really happy, but did you see her arms? When truth be told, it's because I cuddle them too tight and the fuckers fight back. But the first cat we got 2 years ago, a little ginger kitten, he's called Chief Brody, named after the police chief in Jaws. I was still living at the flat at the time, and I thought I'll let him have a wander around, get his bearings, have a bit of a sniff, a bit of an investigate. And he went round the back of the sofa, and I was quite surprised because I'd lived there for 6 years and I'd never been round the back of the sofa. And the Hoover certainly fucking hadn't. And he came back round with what can only be described as 4 big grey fluffy slippers on. So I sent him back round to finish the job. I don't know if you've ever tried to litter train a cat. It's normally quite straightforward. Whenever they look like they're about to do something, you pick them up and you plonk them in the litter tray, you hope for the best. But Chief Brody took a wild cotton on, kept having it laxed, poor bugger. And at one point, my fella and I were standing over the litter tray, just looking at each other going, is there anything we could be doing to help him that we're not already doing? And my fella, because he's so lovely, he looked down at the litter tray and he went, do you want me to do a shit in it to start him off? No. No, I really don't. It would be end to end. And the cat would be like, who the fuck lives here? Aslan? But I have 2 friends who look after my cats when I'm away from home. One of them is an animal lover, one not so much. Give us a cheer if you consider yourself an animal lover. Give us a cheer if you're not really bothered. It's totally fine, isn't it? It's totally fine. My friend who is the animal lover, she looks after them because she loves them. My friend who isn't the animal lover, she looks after them because she loves me. It's very sweet. So the friend who is the animal lover, when she looks after them, she'll take a photograph of them to send to me, and underneath the photograph, it'll say, hiya, ma'am. Because they call me ma'am. It's not weird. Fuck off. And I know that we're close because whenever I see them, they always need a shit. I say, hiya, ma'am, we miss you, we'll see you soon. And it settles me. Wherever I am in the country or the world, it settles me because I know that they're safe and that they're happy. My friend who isn't the animal lover takes a picture just the same, but underneath her picture, it'll say, here is the photograph you requested. They are still alive. I will check again tomorrow. Are you an eager beaver or a late bloomer? If you're a late bloomer like me, then my new show is just for you. Late Bloomer is available now to stream and download from my website, sarahmillican.co.uk.